Shida ya hii nchi wakati huu ni shida moja tu, William Samoei Ruto. Hakuna shida ingine, na ni kwa sababu amekataa kuwa Daudi wa muda huu. Aliingia akisema yeye ni Daudi ya mahasla, yeye ni Daudi ya wanyonge, lakini amebadilika, amekuwa mtu mwingine.
Well, karibu sana ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for taking time to be with me. It's a pleasure to have you on board. Now, I want to assure you this analysis is going to be very informative, and I will seek your indulgence. Just be with me for the next few minutes and we call it a time. Now, you see, in every electioneering period, there is what we call the driving force or the motive that always defines the ballot. For instance, if you go to 2022, it was all about don't let Uhuru Kenyatta get another term. You remember what was in the package of BBI. That is exactly what defined the motive behind 2022's general election. If you go to 2017, it was about NASA How. You remember the NASA Brigade? It was NASA How. That was the motive behind, the definition of the ballot or the thematic area that they were really focused on for the ballot. If you go down in history, you go to 2013, it was about save Ruto from the ICC, okay? Even if you go to 2007, you will know that it was about save our country. And as if those are not enough, even if you go to 2002, it was about a new dawn, where we had yote yawezekana bila Moi. So you see every electioneering period, okay? After every 5 years, we have the driving motive behind the definition of the ballot. And so when you try to look at 2027, maybe if I pose to you a question, what do you think is going to be the driving force? Or what is going to be the motive behind 2027's general election? And that is exactly what I want to define for you, because for me, I see two probable things. Number one, we are going to talk about strongly the status of the economy. Very important. And the way I see this going to be so much of a weight given to the driving force behind the ballot of 2027 is because when Ruto was coming to office in 2022, people had a lot of expectations. And right now, as we speak, you will definitely agree with me that at least majority of Kenyans have had their eyes opened.
Yule jamaa aliyoko kule juu amekuwa kama tulikuwa tukisema zamani zile bundles za Safaricom. Unasikia? Yaani waramba kila kitu. Akiingia mahali akiona tu kuna kitu hapa ashabwa kura. Akiangalia huku Mombasa kuna airport ashabwa kura. Amekuja ameangalia sijui KCC na nini ashabwa kura. Sasa ameingia mpaka kwa mifuko ya wananchi, anachukua sijui pesa za housing, pesa sijui za nini, na zote hatuoni zinafanya kitu gani. Akili kichwani mwetu, kwa sababu Kenya imemshinda saizi watata kila anapoenda azomwa. Wewe uliona lini president akazomwa? Anazomwa kwa sababu wa Kenya wamechoka, na ninajua na nyinyi watu wa Lamu mmechoka. Angalieni Mombasa, NHIF, kina mama wote hospitali watu watumia NHIF, watibiwa bure kule. Angalieni watoto chini ya miaka 5 wanatibiwa bure hapa. Leo mnalia watoto wanahangaika hospitali wanafukuzwa. Aibu si aibu jamani? Hebu tuambie, shame on you.
In fact, right now, it will be very difficult for us to go into the narratives of 2022 general election, the campaign period. It's going to be very difficult for politicians to come with same tricks that they used in 2022. For William Ruto, it's going to be very difficult. Then definitely we are going to stand with what we say, enough is enough. So one of the driving forces or one key motive that is going to define the ballot of 2027 is what we call saving the country from overtaxation, or making the people know that, politicians are always unreliable. And that one will be so much of, force to the extent that is the time we might wake up and see democracy playing for the very first time. Of course, in 2022 or 2 it played out, but for the very first time, in a very stronger way, we are going to see the power of the people manifesting steadily on the ballot. Now, that is one. The second thing is about the politics. And when I talk about the politics, we bring regions. For instance, right now, you see, they are packaging themselves. And one thing that I've been reminding you about when we talk of how William Ruto is going to play his cards for 2027, we have always been saying that President William Ruto is going to find it very difficult to make a decision on whom to go with in his second term. And we are going to bring Rigathi Gachagua into question. And Ruto is going to ask himself or the people around him, do I really need to go back with Rigiji? And even if he doesn't go back with him, that would be another story altogether. So you look at the entire thing, if Rigiji goes again with William Ruto, it will form a defining moment of the ballot. If Ruto leaves him in the cold, it is also going to form a defining moment of the ballot of 2027. Then on the same note, you bring the politics of Raila Odinga. When you bring the politics of Raila Odinga, you are going deeper into looking at if Raila Odinga is going to get the AUC seat, what is going to happen to his people? And by looking at that, you now look at currently what is going on. It is being said that Raila Odinga is right now in the bedroom of the State House, in the government, okay? Raila is never not in the opposition anymore. And so once Raila Odinga is there, and then he clenches the seat, which of course is ending in 2028, 2029, okay, we will be in the second term of whoever will be the president of Kenya in 2027. So that will mean definitely well that if Raila goes for 2 terms for his AUC seat, definitely we will be talking of 2035, 2037. That is when Raila Odinga shall have completed serving Africa in that position. And you will definitely be trying to reason with the nature. Raila cannot come back from that time and still be very much active in the local politics. So that leaves the question, what is Raila Odinga going to do to his people? What is the space for the people that is going to leave behind? Remember, these are the people that have stood with Raila Odinga for all this time. These are the politicians that have always given him the support that he really needed. So the best thing that he needs to do right now is to leave them in the safe hands. And the safe hand doesn't mean that he leaves them in the hands of Ruto. He leaves them in the government. Currently, if you are very keen and following everything that is unfolding, you realize that members of Raila Odinga's caucus or the cycle are really enjoying some benefits in the government. And as early as now, the way Mount Kenya people are really lamenting that they are not seeing the development projects, they are being neglected. The counter narrative that they are bringing on board is that Raila Odinga is bringing his people to the government. They are really enjoying. And at the same time, William Ruto is neglecting the mountain and focusing in the western region. And you see, when you talk of the western region, where we have Musalia Mudavadi and the likes, the Luhya community brought together, and you talk of the Luhyans, Raila Odinga's men, these are people that can actually be brought together within a twinkle of an eye. When they decide to venture on something, they can do it within a twinkle of an eye. Right now, what are we seeing Mudavadi focusing on? He is making sure that Raila Odinga gets whatever he wants.
How are you, sir? Good. Yeah, karibu. Nice to see you. Thank you. Good. Welcome.
We wanted the two of you to have a bilateral.
Yeah.
So that we can have arranged for.
Because he knows that for him, the bullseye is also in 2027, 2032. And the entire community, when you talk of the larger Western bloc, you will be talking of the Luos, you will be talking of the lawyers, you will be talking of the Kisis. So it is a game, it is a mathematics which is being choreographed now. So in 2027, when we see that, you know, there's a defining moment of the ballot, and we see things going the way we are trying to have a premonition on them, we will be telling everybody on that day that, you see, Raila Odinga's factor is also in every aspect that is defining the ballot for 2027. So the political discourse of 2027 is going to be so much serious. And right now, the formations that are coming on board, everything that is happening is going to form the foundation. Anybody who is going to miss, any politician who is going to miss being aligned with this foundation, they are going to miss forever. In fact, they are going to wait after 2032 is when they will be very much relevant. But everything that is going to come right now will form the best foundation that will drive the agenda of 2027. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you have from your side. Maybe just a brief on that. Let me listen to you. Let me hear from you. We'll meet next. Have a great time.